For Dom's 21st birthday, he invited us to celebrate with him in Las Vegas. The invitation felt like the perfect excuse to escape routine, to taste freedom for a few days. There were 6 of us, and we decided to stay at the Gold Coast Hotel and Casino, a classic spot just a short walk from the Strip. I shared a room with Joey, while the other 4 split between 2 rooms. On the ride from the airport to the hotel, we were already laughing, tossing around plans for that first night and the places we wanted to see. The rental car sped through the Nevada desert, slowly giving way to the glow of the city. From a distance, rows of neon lights shimmered like a living oasis in the darkness. Our flight landed late in the afternoon. The dry desert heat hit us the moment we stepped outside the terminal, sharp and relentless. After checking in and setting our bags down, it was almost 7 in the evening. We agreed to start the night with something simple: burgers at In-N-Out. That spot had been on our must-try list for ages, thanks to its legendary West Coast reputation. Inside, the place was casual and buzzing, the smell of grilled meat filling the air. We savored every bite of the juicy burgers, the crisp fries, and the laughter spilling across our table, a warm start to a long trip ahead. Full and happy, we stepped out into the cooling desert air. The Strip greeted us with a sea of endless light, neon from casinos, giant billboards, and towering hotels, all glowing as if the night had been turned into day. Music from clubs, footsteps from tourists, and the chime of slot machines blended into a single rhythm, impossible not to get swept up in. We stopped again and again to snap pictures, fountains dancing, buskers playing music, crowds that looked like a never-ending party. There was a contagious euphoria, the warm night air inviting everyone to forget their worries and simply enjoy the moment. Eventually, our steps brought us to the Bellagio. Its towering presence radiated elegance that needed no explanation. Inside, we felt as though we had entered another world. The casino stretched wide, its ceiling high, crystal chandeliers sparkling above. Brightly patterned carpets rolled across the floor, while hallways brimmed with flashing slot machines, lively blackjack and roulette tables, and guests who looked perfectly content to lose track of time there. We decided to split up. Joey and I headed to a quieter row of slot machines, enjoying complimentary drinks handed out by servers, occasionally pressing buttons just to watch the lights spin. 3 of our friends dove into blackjack, while another disappeared, maybe wandering around to admire the casino's over-the-top decor. The easygoing atmosphere made it simple to let our guard down. We chatted lightly, laughed softly, and reminded each other not to blow too much money on the first night of a trip that was only beginning. At that moment, none of us could have imagined that the night, which felt so perfect, was about to turn into something none of us would forget. About an hour after we'd soaked in the Bellagio's casino, we decided to head out, making our way toward Lily Bar and Lounge. The Strip was even more alive now. Rows of neon lights bouncing off the sidewalks, music from nearby clubs blending with laughter and the chatter of tourists. Street food smells drifted through the warm air, mingling with the spin of roulette wheels inside, while the crowd's steady buzz made every step feel like part of a party that might never end. In the middle of that easy stroll, I casually tapped my pocket, just to make sure my wallet and phone were still there. My fingers met nothing. For a heartbeat, it felt like the whole crowd around me froze. My wallet was gone! Panic rushed in, thudding through my chest, thoughts spinning wild. I stopped short, turning to my friends, asking when they'd last seen it, but they all shook their heads, blank, as if none of them could remember. The unease quickly sharpened into full panic. I told them to wait, but they urged me instead to check Bellagio myself while they went ahead to the bar. Torn between dread and hope, I nodded, then turned back toward the casino. Inside, everything looked different now. Every glowing lamp and cheerful slot machine chime seemed to echo the emptiness of my pocket, while my steps felt heavy and rushed. I retraced every move through the casino floor, scanning the seat where Joey and I had sat, eyeing the glossy tiles, even visiting the lost and found. A kind attendant tried to help, but nothing turned up. Each passing minute stretched my frustration tighter. The wallet wasn't just an object, it was the key to keeping this trip from spiraling into disaster. Out of options, I decided to head back to the Gold Coast, clinging to the hope I'd somehow left it in the room. I hurried through this crowded lobby, stepped into the elevator, and walked the second-floor hallway that felt longer than before. At the door, I swiped the key card Joey had given me. A red light blinked, my chest tightened. I wiped the card on my shirt, tried again, and finally the light turned green. The door clicked open. I tore through the room, unzipped my suitcase, pulled open drawers, checked under the bed, even ran my hands across the still smooth sheets. Nothing. I sank onto the edge of the mattress, staring at the wall in raw frustration, imagining how a trip that had barely begun could collapse over one small thing. Then it hit me. The front desk! Maybe someone had found it and turned it in. Hands trembling, I grabbed the room phone and dialed. After a few rings, a clerk answered warmly. They put me on hold for a moment, then came back with a question that made the blood drain from my face. "Weren't you just here, asking for your room number?" Confusion and tension surged at once, the air pressing in on me. I stared at the phone, breath heavy, trying to process the fact that this simple night was shifting into something far more unnerving. My heart pounded the moment I heard the words from the front desk over the phone. My breath caught as I tried to convince myself that I had been in my room for several minutes already, not in the lobby, like they thought. Their voice remained calm and certain, as if there were no doubt someone using my name had just asked for the room number. The room felt tighter, heavier, like invisible pressure pressing from all directions. I slowly hung up, trying to steady my spinning thoughts, then decided to check the room once more before heading down to the lobby. The closet near the door remained empty. My suitcase was still where I left it. Only the bathroom had yet to be inspected. The white door was closed tightly, sending a chill creeping up my neck. I froze for a few seconds, listening to the unusual, almost unnatural silence. Slowly, I reached for the doorknob, feeling the cold metal under my palm. As I pushed the door open, all I saw was a small bathroom, clean tiles, a tidy sink, a faint scent of soap that should have been comforting. But instead, it amplified the tension that night. I turned on the light, the glow reflecting across the mirror, illuminating every corner of the bathroom. But something in my line of sight made me stop moving. Behind the shower curtain, a vague figure loomed, taller than me. Suddenly, my body felt frozen, as if all strength had drained away. I stepped back slowly, heart racing, afraid to get closer. The shadow of whoever or whatever was behind that curtain made my skin crawl, and my mind raced through every worst-case scenario possible. Hands shaking, I fled the bathroom and grabbed the phone. My voice trembled as I asked the front desk to send security immediately. Within 5 minutes, 2 uniformed men arrived, their steps firm, confident. They entered the room with me, checking every corner before approaching the bathroom. There, standing inside, was a man in his early 30s, a cloth mask covering his face. Both hands raised, body stiff, as if he hadn't expected to be discovered. The officers quickly restrained him, searched his jacket, and found my wallet in one of the pockets. No weapons, just ill intent that had nearly sent me into panic. The police were called, and the man was taken away. Later, I learned he had found my wallet outside the hotel, then pretended to be me at the front desk to get the room number. With the card he acquired, he had managed to enter and hide inside. Thinking about what might have happened if I had actually opened the shower curtain that night sent chills down my spine. The fear lingered long after it was over, leaving the lasting impression that our simple vacation had nearly turned into a real nightmare.